Hey everyone, Caleb with ControlWorks here. In this video, we'll be going over our Genie Aladdin Connect and OHD Anywhere driver for Crestron Home. We'll cover the driver's features, where to get the driver, how to install it and license it, and give you an overview of how it works. Everything I'm going to cover is also documented in the driver's help file. You can find that help file in two places, under the information icon when adding the driver in Crestron Home, and on our website. On the driver's product page, right here is a link for the driver help file. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out to us. The Genie Aladdin Connect driver enables native control of Genie and overhead door garage doors through the Aladdin Connect or OHD Anywhere services. For simplicity throughout this video, we'll just refer to both services as Aladdin Connect. The driver works with openers that have Aladdin Connect built in. On the Genie website, if you select garage door openers and then select all models and then filter by smart connected Wi-Fi models, you can see a list of compatible devices. If the opener that you're controlling doesn't have Aladdin Connect built in, or if you want to control another manufacturer's opener, you can still use the driver by using a retrofit kit. The retrofit kit provides control through a dry contact output, and it uses a remote sensor to determine the door position. It supports up to 3 doors per kit and even works with other manufacturers' openers. Genie has published a compatibility list that you can reference for more details. If you are unsure about which device to get, you can always reach out to Genie. They have a wonderful support group and can guide you to the correct product. Next, let's go over what the driver can do. The driver talks to the Aladdin Connect service in the cloud, so internet access is required. The doors are natively controlled in Crestron Home and appear as standard garage doors inside the Access tab. Open-close control of openers that natively support Aladdin Connect or OHD Anywhere, and support of retrofit kits allowing controls of up to 3 doors from a single device. The driver receives real-time unsolicited door status updates, so Crestron always knows the current door state, even if it's open from another method, such as pressing the button on the wall control or from the Aladdin Connect app. We have quick actions and events, so we can easily trigger automation based on door state changes. We also have a simple Windows module for this. It's a different video, but we do have it. It's available. It can be found on our website. I'll go more into detail about licensing later in this video, but a quick note, the license is tied to the device you're controlling. So if it's an opener with Aladdin Connect built in, the license will allow you to control that single opener. If you're using a retrofit kit, you can control all 3 doors on that retrofit kit with the single license. So where do you get the driver? You can find it in 2 places. I expect most people to get the driver from within Crestron Home. If you go to Drivers, then select Platform, then scroll down to Genie Aladdin Connect. Each driver in this category loads the same driver. There's 2 drivers because there are 2 brands. The second way is on our website. If you're downloading it from our website, you'll notice the driver is listed at $0. That's because we provide the driver itself at no cost. Purchase comes when you activate the license, which we'll talk about as we go through the installation settings. Just note, if you download it from the website, it's expected that you're going to be sideloading the driver into your system. Next, let's go through installing the driver, adding licenses, adding the Genie account pairing for the processor, and then adding the garage doors. First, and this is really important, the openers must be installed and operational. They need to be connected to the Genie Aladdin Connect service, and they need to be controllable through the Genie Aladdin Connect app. If the openers are not physically installed or controllable in the app, you need to complete those first, and then we can return to adding the driver. So back in Crestron Home Setup, select your pair devices, then select drivers, then select platform, and scroll down to Genie Aladdin Connect. You can add either one of these drivers. Under the hood, they load the same driver, but there are 2 because there are 2 brands. Selecting the information icon displays the help file link. Clicking the link loads the help file, and everything that we're discussing in this video is also in this help file. Next, we need to add the platform to a room. For this video, I'll put it in the bedroom, although I've never seen a bedroom with a garage door in it. So select the bedroom, and then select the plus button next to the driver. Next, we need to give it a name, and let's call it Genie Platform. Next, we're presented with some installation settings. The Show on Room page and Show on Home page allow the License Helper extension tile, as well as each door's extension tile, to be shown on the home page or room page. For now, leave the Show on Homepage checked because we're going to need the License Helper tile later on. Scrolling down, we have the License URL and Pairing URL. These are just placeholders at the moment, but once we fully add the driver, these links will be populated with URLs for your processor. The license URL will take you to a page where you can purchase a license. The processor MAC address will be added to the website for you when you click that link. The pairing URL is the URL to add the Genie pairing to that processor. For now, let's just press next. At this time, the platform has been added. If we go back and select the gear now, and then select Installer Settings and scroll down to the license URL and click it, the license webpage is brought up with the MAC address inserted into the proper field. A license enables the module to control a Genie device. The number of doors a Genie device can control varies. So for this example, using a single license, if you are controlling an opener with Aladdin Connect built in, you just need a single license and it will control only that door on that opener. If you are controlling a retrofit kit, retrofit kits have the ability to control 3 doors, and that single license will allow you to control all 3 doors. In my development system, I have a retrofit kit with 3 doors connected to it, so let's purchase a single license. My MAC address has already been added. Let's add a site reference, and let's call it Jones Residence. Enter the number of licenses you wish to purchase. In this case, we're going to purchase 1. You can always come back later to purchase additional licenses to be added to the processor. Let's complete the purchase and the license will be immediately active. Okay, now that I've purchased a license, let's go back to Crestron Home Setup and select the pairing URL. This is the pairing portal. Here at the top, the site knows how many licenses are connected to that processor. And next, we need to complete the manufacturer account pairing. So we click here. And then we log into the Genie Aladdin Connect service. Once the account pairing is complete, the doors that are present on the account are now accessible to Crestron. So starting at Module 0, select a device from the drop-down that you wish to have in Crestron Home. Here you can see that I have 3 retrofit kits, each of them with a handful of doors on them. For now, we're going to select the Chiro chamber doors. You should also note that the number of modules assigned must not exceed the number of licenses. So I have 1 license here, and I'm assigning Module 0 to a device. And if I assigned a device to Module 1 would not function. Once you're finished, select Save Pairings. Next, we need to tell Crestron Home that we have an updated license and pairings. Okay, so back in Crestron Home, if we navigate to Pair Devices, or the top level in Pair Devices, and select Manage Platforms, here we have the devices that belong to the parent platform. If you select the Genie platform that we added, in here, since there were no licenses, we only have the License Helper driver. Add the License Helper to the room. Crestron Home doesn't like long names, so let's change that. And so now we've added the license helper to the bedroom. Now on a Crestron Home UI, here on the home page, we have the license helper tile. If you select it, we have the pairing information as well as a button to update license information. This button, when pressed, queries the activation server for updated licenses and pairings. Since we already have purchased a license and added our pairing, we can press this button and the driver will add the doors that have been paired and are licensed. At this point, if you didn't have any other doors to add, you could remove the license helper driver. It's not needed to keep the system running. It's only needed to update the pairing and licenses. Next, we need to add the doors to a room in Crestron. So back to the Crestron Home Setup tool, and if we navigate to Pair Devices and Manage Platforms and select the Genie platform, here we can see the doors that have been added. To add a door, select the plus button to add the door to a room. Give the door a name and press OK. Pressing the gear button on the door, if you select Interrupts, an interrupt is a method in Crestron Home that makes an audible sound for an event. In this case, for a garage door, when the garage door opens, you can play a sound through touch panels and NAX by selecting the Enable checkbox. For more information on interrupts, visit the Crestron Home online documentation for detailed instructions on how to manage sounds for interrupts. Next, by pressing the test button, we see that Crestron has some stock commands and feedback. We can discreetly invoke the open, close, or toggle commands. These buttons are live. In this case, the door is closed, and we can press the open command, and the driver will instruct the opener to open the door. When moving a door with a third-party controller, such as a mobile app or Crestron, the UL procedures state that there must be a visual and audible alert played at the door before it moves. So let's simulate opening the door. Obviously, I don't have a real garage door in my office here. I have the sensor and the retrofit kit. And if I move the sensor to the open position, the feedback now indicates that the door is open. We can also simulate the door moving from the wall control or the remote control in the car. If we move the door position sensor to the close position, we should see the feedback state change to close. Looking at the Crestron Home interface, we can see 3 items. We can see the access tile, we can see the license helper, and the garage door extension tile. Pressing the extension tile allows us to see some discrete status as well as open-close buttons. This is similar to our previous Genie driver versions. It's not necessary to use this tile for controlling the doors. Selecting the access tile, we can see the scenes for opening and closing all garage doors in the system, as well as controlling the door that we just added. It shows the current state closed. If I move the sensor, we can see the door status change. Pressing the button will send the command to toggle the door state. For example, if it's open, it will send the close command or vice versa. If we add additional doors, which we can do now, we can see them in the access tile. If we go back and look at the home page, if you take a look at the access tile, the text changes indicating that there are more than one door in the system. Since it's gotten pretty crazy with extension tiles, let's disable them by selecting the platform driver and turning off the show on home page. And if these doors were a standard opener with a single door, pressing the open or close all scenes, the commands would be sent immediately. However, since these 3 doors are on a retrofit kit, the commands get queued up and will send once the device is ready to move to the next door. Let me demonstrate this now, and you'll see them execute one at a time. Next, let's talk about actions and events. If we select actions and events, and then select the room the doors are in, we can see the doors that have been added. And if we select a door, we can see the stock closed and open events Crestron Home provides. If we select the device operations folder, the driver provides additional statuses such as closed, closing, open, opening, opening timeout, status unknown, and timeout closing. The timeout opening and closing events are fired when the door should be in the commanded state and did not transition. For actions, we'll need to add a quick action to see those. And if we select sequence, then select the room, then select the door, we can see the stock Crestron Home actions, close, open, and toggle. If you select the device operations folder, there are additional actions for close and open door. These directly invoke the commands and bypass any Crestron Home logic. One last thing I would like to discuss are error states. If a door has been commanded to move 2 times and the door does not move to the commanded position after 2 attempts, the door goes into UL lockout. Crestron Home only provides a single error condition, and it shows up as jammed on the Crestron user interface. Here you can see the door is indicating jammed. When the door is in this state, the door stops accepting commands from Crestron, as well as the Aladdin Connect app. Crestron requires the driver to still send the commands to the opener, but the door will not operate. The door must be cycled once using the wall control or the remote to clear the error. Once the error is cleared, the door may be operated remotely again. And that's all I have for you on the Genie Aladdin Connect driver. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can select the Contact Us link on the top of our website. We have telephone numbers you can call. We are open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. You can fill out the Contact Us form and it will send us an email and we'll email you back. Or if you don't want to call us or send us an email, you can always use the chat widget on the website. When we are available, it is actually us and we will respond to your chat. If it's outside of business hours, it will send us an email and then we will get back to you over email. Thanks for watching.